So the 50-year mortgage, everyone has an opinion on it that's in real estate and in mortgage, of course. My opinion is you have to be very careful. I was in New York last week and I met with a very, very powerful group that owns a lot of things, hundreds of billions of dollars of assets. And they told me they were invited to, and I won't name any names, but they were invited to DC. They went down and had these ideas of how the government could create more wealth with a few vehicles at their disposal, like all this stuff that they were trying to get the government to understand that they could do to create more wealth in housing. And it felt really good that this administration told them, we don't care about any of that. They said we could go raise $100 billion from Saudi Arabia tomorrow if we wanted to. That's not what this is about. This is about how do we get more Americans into housing, period. Whatever we have to do, whatever we have to subsidize, we want to do it. And so they laughed and they were like, whoa, we didn't know that it was going to go that way. When I heard that story last week in Manhattan, that felt really good that this administration is trying to do good. And so I was super optimistic about that. You know, there's a lot of people that say, you know, the 50-year mortgage, oh great, pay more interest. Why not have a 100-year mortgage? And I think that there's a lot of people that just hate on Trump no matter what. Like, no matter what he says, if he says to breathe air, people would die of suffocation. So like, I don't listen to that stuff. When you see that somebody, no matter what somebody's trying to do, that 99 times out of 100, they have something negative to say about it, you can't trust their opinion because they have a biased opinion on the person, not the idea. And so be cognizant of those people. My opinion is, at least we're having ideas. I mean, if you want the real reality of it, one, people think I'm this hardcore right person. I am not. I am a centrist. I see things that just make common sense. And I think this administration has a lot more common sense than the former one. And if you don't like that, that's my opinion and I'm entitled to it. But we're in this mess because of the last administration when I talk about housing. And if you argue that, I just am going to tell you you're wrong. We artificially lowered interest rates to 2%, 2.5%, and then printed $3 trillion. So you flush the economy with money and you artificially lower rates. Yes, housing is going to explode, which is why we're in the debacle we're in right now where housing prices are so high and inflation got so high that we had to raise rates while house prices continued to soar. So now we're sitting here saying, okay, every house is more expensive, but the cost of money is more expensive. Now what do? You can't just lower interest rates again because the price of housing goes up and price of houses are already up too high, but you also don't want people to lose value in their home because of equity. And you don't want to take away equity because people borrow that equity to put into the economy. So you got to be very careful on how you play this. It's not just a solution of rates. It's not a solution of let's creating more supply personally, and I talked about this in New York too, is really the best solution. But the only way to do that, it's not about money, it's about bureaucracy. We have to build more houses more quickly. We have to build them faster, and we have to get rid of all this red tape so we can get to building. That, to me, is number one, more supply. But two, on the 50-year mortgage, my opinion on it is at least there's some thought on how can we get more homeownership for people, and those that counterpoint that with, well, you know, so now what, you're gonna be in 50 years, you won't pay down principal, you won't do this, you won't do that. Yeah, but everyone ends up refining their note anyway. I think the average, and don't quote me on this, I think the average person refinances 4 to 5 times during their period of home ownership, which is now, I think, 12 years. So you're typically resetting that anyway. The point is qualifying. It's gonna be easier for people to qualify for home ownership because their monthly payment's gonna be lower. So from a qualification perspective, they can achieve home ownership. And I don't think this skyrockets pricing to where people will get priced out too much of what's already considered a high value in terms of housing. I don't know how this plays out. Everyone has this opinion though, as if they know exactly how this is gonna work, and no one does because we don't know. Is this just only on purchase? Would it be refi? Could it only be for first-time home buyers? Could it be only for primary occupants? Some of this might have been said, I'm just unaware of it, so forgive me if I don't know some of the details. But the concept of the 50-year mortgage to me sounds like we're trying to make homeownership more achievable for those that don't qualify currently for homeownership based on pricing and based on rate. I'm okay with people trying to be creative. I am. But we have to go back to why we have to be creative right now, and it's because of what happened during COVID. While everyone seems to want to hate on Trump, this administration is trying and doing the best that they can. They also have the smartest people in the world in that administration, quite frankly, that are working for free, that are coming up with these things. And that feel-good story that I heard from the private equity group that I was with on all they care about right now is we want to get more Americans into houses because we know that's the right thing to do. That felt really good. So I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't judge you on either side either. But every time something comes up, if it's an idea on the right, the left torches it, the right loves it. There's no middle ground. And again, I don't care, but I like the idea that we're having these discussions. We're having discussions to help out Americans get into more homes. That to me is what helps. And the devil's in the details, of course, but it feels good that it's being paid very close attention to. So that's my opinion on the 50-year mortgage.